You're listening to Rhema Radio.
Family Life FGA KL is organizing a mental health talk with Dr. Hira Lokman. This is a call to recognize, respond and relate as we express the stress. It is happening on the 12th October from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the main sanctuary of FGA KL. Datuk Dr. Lai Fong Hua, Dr. Hira Lokman and Dr. Yo Pei Lee will also be speaking at the different weekend services in FGA KL on 5th, 6th, 12th and 13th of October. Grab this opportunity to find out more about the often misunderstood topic of mental health. Register now at bit.ly/MHA_2019. Admission is free. Follow Family Life FGA KL on Facebook and Instagram for more details.
Hi, this is Heidi from Refuge to the Refugees. If you have time on your hands from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays, come volunteer with us and make a difference in the life of a child today. If you're keen to volunteer with us, write in to us at refugefortherefugees@gmail.com.
Hello there, I'm Edmund Lawrence Smith, Pastor Ed, they call me. I'm from Real Love Ministry Malacca, a ministry that reaches out to the marginalized community and particularly the sexually broken, meaning those who are struggling with LGBT issues and even porn addiction, masturbation issues, and so on and so forth. If you are struggling with this kind of issues and you are looking for a place that you can go to for help, do get in touch with us. You can contact me directly, WhatsApp me on 016-6658-773.
Next week's midweek service word is from Dr. Ben Lim, shared in FGA KL, entitled Guilt and Shame. Listen to that and other sermons at rhemarad.io or anywhere else you get your podcasts. Before we listen to this week's interview with Parimalam Balasubramaniam, here's something to take note. The show you are about to hear was recorded in February 2019, but since the details of the events were changed, it was postponed until now. You will hear some details that is no longer accurate. The new date for I Heart People Fest is on 28 October 2019. You can sign up at tinyurl.com/IHPF 2019. Teen Street is on 11 to 15 December 2019. Sign up link is at tinyurl.com/Y3A6WDGY. And now on to the show.
Welcome to Rhema Radio, the weekly podcast on faith, culture, music and more. This is Jason Ding and with me in the studio is Parimalam Balasubramaniam, the National Director of OM Malaysia. And you're here in the studio to talk to me about two events. One is the I Heart People Festival and secondly is the Teen Street Malaysia Festival. Could you tell us about these two events? Let me start with the one that's coming up soonest, which is the I Heart People Fest.
Yeah, it's a one-day event, just from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
On 1st May 2019?
On the 1st of May, right here in First Baptist Church in Subang Jaya.
Okay.
It's a day event for church in general. Particularly, we're looking at people who love God and they're in church, they're growing in their love for God and in their knowledge of God. But then the question, what next? Is there more to the Christian life than just consuming the gospel and consuming Christianity?
So the tagline goes, I love God, but what next? Right?
That's right.
So they go there and they find out what next.
That's right.
Okay.
So it's on the premise of the Great Commission and the Great Commandment. Mm-hmm. If I were to summarize these two commandments, I would say it's love God and love people. And so hence the title of the event is I Heart People Fest.
And so it's really to reach out and to motivate those in you mentioned the 20s and 30s to immerse themselves in different cultures and to capture the heart and from this event do more for missions. Is that correct?
That's right. That's right. So we're designing the day as an interactive experience where there'll be different things happening, different stations that they would go to. One of it's going to be a simulation of the Great Commission.
Okay.
So Jesus himself will show up.
Wow.
That's right. And we'll also have a bit of a role play. We've got people from the performing arts come and role play. It'll give us participants an opportunity to engage them with the gospel and have an experience.
The one that caught my eye here is culinary journey. What's that all about? I'm Malaysian.
We're
see,
Malaysian,
so
yeah. We've got to have food, right? Yeah, it's food, but it's more than food. We're calling it a journey because you're going to not just taste and smell the food from a choice of 6 different ethnic groups that are very different from those that we're Malaysian, we're multicultural, but these ethnic groups are very different. And these families will come with food that they would eat on a daily basis and eat that with you. And during the culinary journey, they will also share their lives and their stories of their culture and their experience back in their home countries with us. So we get to immerse ourselves in a different culture and have an experience of what life is like for them. But right through these different experiences, we're going to have people journey with you who will help you to debrief that experience so that it's not just an experience, you enjoy it, you feel good, but to take time to reflect and to be attentive to God in the things you see and experience and even feel as we pay attention to God and reflect and ask, what are you saying to me, God? How do I love people? And what is my part in that?
I think these are really important and pertinent questions. It's not enough to just. We are saved, but saved for a reason. Right. We're not saved by good works, but we are saved for good works.
That's right.
And I'm glad that there's an event like this to engage on this, and also to at the same time engage our 5 senses. To even journey and to find out what's out there and what's the needs and maybe for people who are working in a 9 to 5, there is more to life than 9 to 5. All right.
That's right.
Okay. So you said that there's all these things happening. So who should come?
All right. Really, if you love God and you're in church, you should come. Whether you're 15 or 65 or 70, you should come. But particularly the way we've designed the day, we're thinking of those in their 20s to say about mid-30s, because I think you're going to really enjoy the interactive nature of it. And this is an event where we're not going to give you the answers. We're just helping you come and experience and then pay attention to God and allow God to speak to you of what your role might be.
So once again, that is the I Heart People Fest happening on the 1st of May 2019 from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the First Baptist Church of Subang Jaya. Normal fee is RM40, and this fee is inclusive of the lunch that is you talked about earlier on.
That's right.
Right. We're going to take a short break right now, but when we come back, we're going to talk more about OM Malaysia's other event, which is the Teen Street Malaysia. Stay tuned.
Rhema Radio.
Hi everyone, my name is Robert Lim. I worship in the DUMC. I would like to share with you a Bible verse taken from the book of James, chapter 1, verses 23 to 25. It says, "Anyone who listens to the word but does not do what it says is like someone who looks at his face in the mirror and after looking at himself goes away and immediately forgets what he looks like. But whoever looks intently into the perfect law that gives freedom and continues in it, not forgetting what they have heard, but doing it, they will be blessed in what they do."
Rhema Radio.
Welcome back to Rhema Radio, the weekly podcast on faith, culture, music, and more. With me in the studio is Parimalam, the National Director of OM Malaysia. And earlier on, we talked about the I Heart People Fest. But right now, we're going to talk about Teen Street Malaysia. So what's Teen Street Malaysia all about?
All right. Teen Street Malaysia is for Christian teenagers, to a discipleship camp for Christian teenagers. It's all about getting them to grow in their love for God and then to reflect Him to the world around them.
Okay. And it's targeted to teens 17 and below.
17 and below, correct.
Okay. And it's happening twice this year?
That's right. This year, for the first time, we will have it both in Malay in August in Sabah.
Okay.
And then in English here in West Malaysia in December.
Okay.
We're still working out the details, but it will probably be at a school in Mantin Negeri Sembilan.
Okay. And normally, is it a few days camp scenario, or is it like they go on a day thing? What's the arrangement?
It's a residential camp, which means they come and they stay with us for 5 days, 5 full days.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's when you say that, I'm reminded of my own experience in camps. That's where really it's a away from home experience at a young age, and that's where you make new friends. You also kind of like find out more about God and your relationship with Him, and where you fit into the big plans that He has for us. So, how long has Teen Street Malaysia been running, and what have you seen from the past Teen Street Malaysia events?
We run in some 5 different locations around the world. For some, about 22 years ago we started.
Okay.
So we're quite large in Europe, based in Germany. We are also in Australia, Egypt, the Philippines, and a couple other places as well.
And what happens when the teens go to this to the event? I mean, to this camp. What can they expect?
Okay, at Teen Street we say we have a double vision. We don't see double; we just have a double vision.
Okay,
and it's to love God and love people. So every year we work around that vision to grow our love for God and to grow our love for people. Because again, we say we cannot just say we love God but do not love the people around us. So we build on that. How do you love God? You spend time with God. You spend time in His Word. So we have fun things like a Bible man. Bible man.
Sounds like a superhero.
He takes a different role every year. One year we had Mud Bible.
Mud Bible. Okay.
As well.
Localized. Right.
Localized.
Okay.
But he or she would make it really fun to memorize scripture.
Okay.
And across the camp, everybody would memorize scripture every day, and a lucky person who gets his name picked out or her name picked out will actually come and recite that in front of everyone, and they get a prize for that as well.
Okay.
So it's made fun. They also will spend time in small groups we call a net, and it's based on that premises of, in the circus when you do a tightrope walk, they always have a net under them to catch them when they fall. And when you think about walking the Christian life, it's sometimes like walking a tightrope because it's tough.
You're balancing, you're watching your feet, there's a long way down.
Yeah. And, just one mistake and you could go way off, right? And so we say, look, it's important to have a net.
Support.
And the net would be made out of peers who are on that same journey with you, but also a coach. So someone a little older who's gone a little further along that journey to help facilitate that net group. And the net is there to help you bounce back every time you fall off. Bounce back and just keep going. And to hold you accountable. So the net is a very crucial part of Teen Street. And much of what they experience and discover at Teen Street is happening in the net. And so these are different things that we do at Teen Street for them to grow in their love for God. And then at the same time, we talk about how do you love people? And how is that lived out on a daily basis? And then the challenge. So how do we reflect God to the world around us?
I think this is so important and so valuable, precious, because I've heard it said somewhere that for people to commit, the chances of them actually accepting God and living out their lives is there's a period in their lives below 18 and below or something like that. And I think having friendships or a support group like you shared that can journey in that season of, because it's a confusing time. You're a teenager and you're going towards, young adulthood, and then there's many decisions to make. And like you say, sometimes people fall off the road and then they lose their faith. And it's so good that we have, like you say, a net of people that can keep each other accountable and to even speak into each other, and there's someone to talk to. Maybe there are things that they feel, I can't speak to my parents, they don't understand, but they can speak to their peers and their friends, and some of these friends forged in this camp.
Oh yeah. It's 14 years and I'm still hearing people who keep in touch with their net. They're now in their 20s, 30s, and in the working world, but they still keep in touch with their net. I think it's these, like you said, these relationships that help them stay on the tightrope, and that's a very deep and meaningful relationships.
Great. So that's Teen Street Malaysia, and how can they find out more about this event?
Yes, it's teenstreetmalaysia.com, but also you can go to om.org or call us at OM Malaysia at 0378035303.
Okay, so that's Teen Street Malaysia, and we're going to take a short break right now, and we come back, we're going to talk more with Pari.
Rhema Radio.
My name is David Chua, and I would like to pray for all the youth, all the young people, and every single person who has a dream of doing something that they think is too big for them, or they feel they just can't do. I pray for all these people, no matter where you come from, who you are, who your parents are, that God has a special place for you in this world, in this industry, whether it's the arts business, whether it's in music, film, dancing. Like, all these given talents are specifically given to you and you alone, and no one else can take that away from you. Father, I just want to commit all these individuals into your hands. I pray that you keep that fire burning, and Father, I pray for patience. I pray for a continuing longing of passion that is over-burning, that will never die out. Father, I pray for guidance, that you put the right people in their lives to inspire them, to build them, and to carry them, and to help them. As how you say in the Bible, iron sharpen irons. I pray that God, you would make them to sharpen other irons too as well, and that they will be who you want them to be, not what they want, but who you really want them to actually flourish into this amazing person in this industry that you've called them into be. But I also pray that you give them courage, as I know that this industry might be really dark, political at times. It might be too big for them to comprehend, but Father, I pray that through your eyes all things are possible, and nothing is too big for a child of God to go into. I just want to thank you for giving us dreams, for giving us imagination, creativity, for giving us an opportunity to live life in this amazing world filled with crazy things that we can do for your kingdom. Father, I want you to be our sole purpose for every single thing that we do. You will be our priority, not fame, not money, not alcohol, but to glorify your kingdom and to be a blessing to the countries, to the churches that we're in, to the community of friends that we belong to. But I pray that you make us instruments to be a blessing to your world. And I pray all this in Jesus' most precious name. Amen.
Rhema Radio.
Welcome back to Rhema Radio, the weekly podcast on faith, culture, music, and more. This is Jason, and we've been in conversation with Parimalam, the National Director of OM Malaysia. So, Operation Mobilization, and what is the scenario like? You would have some figures about the situation in the world. You were sharing with me just a bit earlier on. What's the situation in terms of mission work in the world?
Okay, in OM, our vision today is stated this way. We want to see communities of Jesus followers. We want to see vibrant communities of Jesus followers amongst the least reached. And when you look at the world today, they put the population at about 7.6 billion globally. And the statistics are showing that over 3 billion are still least reached with the gospel. That's quite staggering. What that would mean roughly, if we were, a group of 10, 4 of us would never have access to the gospel.
And we've been taught that to fulfill the Great Commission, go into all the world to make disciples of all nations. And I've also heard it said that it's a verse that when the whole world is reached, then Jesus will return. So until that time happens, Jesus will not return, because I think God is patient and He wants all to come to the saving knowledge and grace of Him. So I also see that some churches, what they do is they adopt countries and they adopt people group, and some actually, as cell groups, they actually sow into these groups. I don't know. Do you see this? Have you observed churches doing things like that? And do you think it's enough?
Yeah, I do. And there are many needs out there. But really, if you were to look very carefully, a lot of Christian funding and resources in terms of people are actually going into places that are already reached with the gospel. Quite often we go and serve in a church setting in another country where they already have the gospel.
So we're sowing back into the already reached communities.
Correct.
Why do you suppose that's the case?
I think one of it is just the lack of awareness. Secondly, a lot of these people groups that are least reached with the gospel are hard to access. They are in places where life would be very different from us. Language, lifestyle, cultural barriers would exist. But these are barriers that we need to wrestle with. And we need to find ways to overcome so that we can take the gospel to some of these places that are least reached with the gospel.
Right. And this falls into the numbers you mentioned, about 3 billion. And I don't know, I'm just recalling someone once said also that missions now and missions like, say, 50 years ago is very different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like 50, 80 years ago or 100 years ago, once you go to another country, you are there. You don't expect to come back.
Return.
You don't expect to come back. You pack your bags to say goodbyes and you're living it out for Christ, right?
That's right.
These days, the long, hard suffering is, just flying and taking a flight back.
That's right.
It's not, the world's getting smaller. Everything's more accessible. And people can, do more in a sense because of the convenience of technology and all that. But maybe, I don't know, the mindset is such that, the people are not willing to, or maybe they're used to comfort. And like you said, there is a price to pay. It's inconvenience. But do you think really, again, what do people need to kind of like think about, or how do people overcome these barriers, as it were, internal barriers in their minds and all that?
Yeah. Well, to overcome these barriers, again, I would say prayer. You just bring these things before God and allow Him to give you the answer and speak into it. I would challenge people to really take a grip of what God says in His Word about who He is and His promises to us. Because I think when we recognize and we fully embrace who God is and all of that, then these fears will disappear. In that, it's still there, but then we recognize God is bigger than that fear. And He's therefore able to provide, to enable, and to make that difference. But also, I wanted to say as well that, like you said earlier, missions is very different today. And we do not, if you have, say, skills in graphics design, you don't have to let it go and go into the mission field and only teach the Bible. You can actually take your skills and go to countries where they will not allow a missionary in, but they will allow a graphic designer to come in and gain employment and live in the heart of their community and be that reflection of God to them. So today, like you said, there are so many opportunities to take your job with you, to take your skill with you. Go be an engineer in Saudi Arabia or a nurse in Dubai. Take your skill with you, but go live in a community that is otherwise least reached with the gospel.
So there are many needs out there, many needs that require different skill sets, but the greatest need really is the gospel and the saving knowledge of Jesus.
That's right.
And there are many ways to get there. And what I'm hearing from you is that we just need to look in our hands, our 5 loaves and 2 fish, whatever we have. Start with prayer, and then act in obedience.
Yeah.
Right? And OM Malaysia is more than happy to guide you on that journey. So just find out more, really, what can they do?
Well, you can go to our website, www.om.org, or you could call our office right here in Malaysia. It's 0378035303, and we'll be happy to journey with you, pray with you, mentor you into missions.
Great. So you've been listening to Parimalam, the National Director of OM Malaysia, talk about the I Heart People Festival, the Teen Street Malaysia camp, and as well as the Hearts of Mission here in Malaysia. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
God bless.
Your love has invaded my heart, consumed me and made me new. How could I live but to live for you? Ooh, ooh. I'm leaving my past behind. Freedom in Christ is mine. Won't live for me, I only live for you. Ooh, ooh.
This is the moment for our generation. This is the time we arise for your kingdom. This is the sound of your spirit moving. Revival has come. Revival is here.
We are gonna change the world in your power and your love. Nothing is impossible. In you we are unstoppable. We are gonna change the world in your power and your love. Nothing is impossible. In you we are unstoppable. We're ready to go. We're ready to go.
You save me, the old is gone. Use me, let your will be done. Wanna shine your light as I live for you. Ooh, ooh. There is no greater cause. Jesus, you've paid it all. Wanna make you known, tell them all about you. Ooh, ooh. This is the moment for our generation. This is the time we arise for your kingdom. This is the
This segment song is from YBhg. Do connect with us at facebook.com/rhemarad.10. Comment, like, and share our weekly shows so we can do more. Contact us at hello@rhemarad.io. We would love to hear from you. Listen to all past shows by searching Rhema Radio on the following apps: Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, or anywhere else you get your podcasts. This episode was audio edited and mixed by Moses Chan of Prodeo Studios. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. If you know someone that needs to hear it, please share it out.
I found it on Rhema Radio.